But Andre, who was a mythic figure in the business, now,
Right.
now you're going to bring him down. Is he hesitant? Is he skeptical of you? Is he, or
Well,
is he?
yeah, he was a little, you know, he didn't like me, well, first of all.
Well, you didn't like John, right?
Oh, no, I thought he liked John.
Oh, he did. Okay.
My God, if he didn't like John, all John did was kiss his ass. Oh, my God. Every time they say, he walk in the dressing room, John said, where you staying tonight, boss? The Marriott. Okay, I'll stay at the Sheraton. Because their feud was so red hot, they couldn't stay at the same hotel.
Right.
Which is kind of old school bullshit, but it's just that bullshit. No, he loved you. One time a guy walks in the dressing room, and we're all sitting there, and says, how you doing, boys? I don't know who the guy was. And John said, if Andre's happy, we're happy. I'm thinking, John, why don't you just blow the guy right here, you know?
But so now,
Yeah, it looks like I got a laugh from the camera guy.
at first, you said Andre doesn't like you upon.
Well,
Is it because of your size? Was it a
no?
threat to him?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because he came down. See, Andre's when he wasn't working WWF, he would go around to the territories.
Sure.
And he'd come in, and I was the top heel in Dallas. And you know, he wasn't going to beat your heel off because you needed your heel at your territory. But you knew when the Giant came to town, your heel was going to get a good ass kicking.
Yes.
But I worked in there. There was always a thing. The Giant was never slammed. I slammed the Giant 7 nights in a row in that Dallas run. Wasn't really much of a good slam. It was more like up and flip,
Turn
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a boom. Couldn't do that. Hogan could, but I wasn't strong enough. But anyways, it was a slam. It was called a slam. End of the week, we're in Austin, Texas, and I got done. And I went over to him. I said, "Boss, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to work with you. It's an honor. It was a dream of mine." And I shook his hand, and as I turned and I walked away. Now I'm 24. I'm a kid, you know. I slapped him on the back, and I say, "I guess I'm ready for New York." That pissed him off.
Really?
After I practically blew him by saying what an honor it was to work. Oh, he was a prick. You didn't know that?
Later on, I
said
heard
it all
that,
the time.
but
I don't give a
early-
shit. If I walk out that door right now, have a triple coronary, and you thought I was a prick, please say Bundy was a prick. Because I don't go with this. I respect the dead.
But, well, I always heard later on, but beforehand, I didn't know that he. I knew he had a very fine line in the sand, and you fell on one side or the other of the line.
Yeah,
you liked
right.
him or you didn't like him.
Well, he was the only guy in the business you'd really be scared of. Not for what he'd do to you physically. There's guys in this business that could destroy him physically. But for what he could do to you business-wise. He could say the word and you'd be done.
Does he say anything to you then when you say to him,
No,
I'm
but
ready
he
for
tells
New
Hogan about it. Hogan tells me about it years later.
Wow.
That he thought I was being, and I wasn't. Well, I just said it was an honor to work with him.
Right.
Well, a kid, kids say things,
So years later, when you're given this angle to break his sternum, does that resurface at all? Any of that
No,
resentment?
but he was like, he was never nice to me. He was all right. But like we worked in the garden that night, I didn't go over and thank him. I let him come thank me. And I was in the shower and he came over. It was kind of like a little, like childish little,
But he did come to you.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And that night, I don't know if you remember, I took a bump out of the ring where I hit the apron. I don't know if I didn't catch the rope or what, but I went from the apron to the floor there to the, it was like a splat. I mean, I've never hit that hard in my life on the floor. It was just like 4 feet, and I don't know, there was something that made a noise, and it was like jarring. And, of course, my adrenaline was pumping so much, there was no problem getting up, you know what I mean?
This was the match at the Maple Leaf Garden when you break his sternum?
No, that was when I worked him at the Colossal Jostle.
September 23rd, 18,000 people. It's probably a sellout.
Yeah, it was a sell. I remember somebody telling me that.
This is, right, this is exactly what you're talking about with the interference, and he gets double teamed, just playing off the existing genesis of the angle. It's often said that there's a mystique to the garden, a feeling to the garden, working in the garden, there's an electricity and energy, all that. Did you find that to be true?
No, I found that much more electricity in Boston Garden than MSG. Boston Garden was electric. I don't care who you were working with. I don't care. I worked with Hulk there before. The Boston Garden it was just alive. It's like the building had its own personality. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah.
Is this your biggest payoff to date in WWE? It's a main event at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it would have been my biggest payoff.
What could one expect to make? Could you walk away with 10 grand in one night?
Never.
Madison Square Garden?
Not unless you were Hulk Hogan or the Giant.
Hogan could, right? Okay.
Never.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Which, come on, it's pretty good money.
1985, sure. I mean, today too.
You must be embarrassed when you say that how little that money is. Know what you just put in my pocket, aren't you?
I was just thinking that if coming out of your mouth right now, $3,000 is a lot of money, I should have renegotiated.
Isn't that just like? No, I meant you paid me too little.
I meant
you paid me too much. I'll tell you what. We'll just end it right now. Call it a day.
Listen, I got a great 20 minutes.
How long has it been going? I want to know. Seems like 2 hours already.
You want to really know?
It's a half hour.
About a half hour. Maybe
A half? What?
30 to 35.
My God! I swear I thought it was an hour and a half.
Are you aware?
Actually, I kind of like these. I did it
With the right
a
people.
shoot.
With the right people.
a shoot interview. It's just kind of nice to dish the people you don't like. And
It's therapeutic. I've always said this.
I say it's cathartic.
Wrestler therapy. It's totally cathartic.
What's cathartic mean, John?
You know what cathartic means.
No,
You
I
wouldn't
don't.
have used it correctly
No,
in the
what,
sentence.
did I
if
use
you
it
did.
correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of like soothing balm to your psyche. Is that
yes,
right?
Sure.
All right. I said that in my shoot tape. I said it's cathartic.
Andre the Giant is, when you think about it, Andre the Giant is the one setting you up
He's the
to
granddaddy
get
of them all.
the rub to go to Hogan.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it.
I
Andre
never-
the Giant, the biggest name in the business,
I never really thought about it that much.
is
though.
giving you the rub for Hogan,
Yeah, he was. You're right.
which is massive.
Yeah.
This was a dream. This is a kid's dream this year. 1985 for you was the
Yeah, you're
childhood
right.
aspiring wrestler's dream. I'm
But
going to
if-
work with Hogan in a main
But
event.
if you don't realize it, not so much of a dream.
Right. Well, listen, you must have been.
Oh, I had a good time. Don't
Excited.
get me wrong, I was, but it didn't.
Your first.
I was a main event. Whether you like me or not, I was a main event guy in wrestling.
Your first match against Hogan. You want to take a guess on the city? First match against Hogan in WWF, not in Japan. As you're leading. up.
Boston?
Yes, sir. Boston.
That's what I
Garden,
mean about that building being electric, Sean.
September 7th. You get it's a DQ. You hit him with the megaphone, or Jimmy hits him with
I
the
had,
megaphone.
I had some other. I remember we were doing promos for him, and I said, there's the promos. Listen to town. Springfield was over.
The stand-ups with Gene that you used
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. And Howard Finkel was running them. And there's a couple towns there. I said, I'm supposed to work with Hulk here. And he said, what's wrong, nervous? I've been doing this shit 5 years. I said, no. I said, I got a commitment to go to Japan. And I kind of insisted on it because I had signed a 12-year deal. Now, the second year I reneged because Vince made a big deal out of it. But I pushed for that. And he let me do it, even though he didn't like that.
What was the beauty of Japan? Was it the money?
Well, the money, and it's so easy. They tell you, be in the bus at this time. You go, you wrestle, there's no bullshit. It's just, I remember some guys hated it. Mike Sharp hated it. And Mike's a good guy, but
Because
Mike's
he couldn't
a
get
little
an
crazy.
iron. He couldn't get a good iron in the hotels.
And he said, I can't get the food I like. I said, Mike, this is Japan. I said, what do you like? I said, well, I like for breakfast, I like toast and peanut butter. I said, you can get that here, Mike. Mike was something.
Okay, in September, your first match against Hogan in the WWF after the Andre angle.
Yes.
Had the decision been made in September of '85 that you were going to main event with Hogan in March of '86?
No.
Or is that too far back?
I remember now. See, my memory is hazy. I remember Hulk telling me about the next WrestleMania, but it seems like it was a new thing. But we'd already had a WrestleMania, so I don't know. But I remember Hulk telling me the big show here, and they were going to pick me or Savage. I said, "Fuck Savage." I said, "Me and you's a much better match than Savage."
Did you say it to him, even in a joking manner?
Well, no, I was dead serious. Fuck Savage. I deserve that spot. Savage. We had a buck 85 until he got to WCW and they took all the steroids and probably killed him, right? I remember Savage one time. I'm back in the Mid-South Coliseum, and I'm just minding my own business, sitting on one of the rubbing tables and working for Lawler. Savage and his father came in and just started fucking with me for no reason, just fucking with me. And as they're walking out, one of them said, he's not going to live that long because I'm big and fat.
Said
Said to me, yeah. Well, Randy, fuck you Angelo, you probably died 100 years ago. And Angelo, fuck you, because I'm still alive and you're dead. Can you imagine saying that to somebody? He's not going to live very long.
There was no
Because of all this
provocation.
stuff.
You were
No provocation. No, shit. No, Savage was always like that. He was always an asshole.
You hear about his. I don't want to spend too much time on him, but you hear about his paranoia and his. Is that what the problem was with him?
He was just a jerk off, and he got off from being a jerk off.
Really?
You know, he used to steal food. When he was the world champion for their thing, who told me this? Rip Rogers. A couple of people told
Chief
me
J.
this.
Strongbow, probably.
When he was the champion of their territory, his father had a territory. He said because his sons couldn't get booked, he had to start his own place. Randy got caught shoplifting food. Now, if you're hungry, Sean, and you steal food, no harm, no foul. But if you have the money to pay for it and you steal it, and obviously he'd done it before because the cops were waiting for him outside. They'd seen him do it before, so as soon as he walked in, they called the cops. He goes outside, so their federation's world champion gets arrested for shoplifting food. They wondered why they weren't doing
Is that
well.
legit? Was he arrested? This isn't an accusation. This is a legit. He was arrested.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And Bobby Heenan actually asked him about it. And you know what he said?
Did he own up to it?
What's that? No. He said, oh, yeah, that was the thing. Me and Garvin were working an angle. What kind of possible angle could you be working where you have your world champion? This guy would believe it. He'd believe the cameraman there. He'd believe that angle. You guys know I'm fucking with you, right?
Yes.
But that was some fucked up shit, Sean.
I remember 2 minutes before going out for the roast, you grabbed me in the hallway here. I don't remember what you said, but you pretended to take issue with something. Maybe the order.
I probably did.
Well, the order that you were going out in, just something like, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? And you went, I'm just fucking with you. You gotta go start the show. You sent me out there.
My order was fucked up.
Oh, I don't remember.
God,
what it was.
I get upset
The fact
about it
that you
now.
were on the damn thing's a miracle. Did the early matches with Hogan before they decide to put you in the main event of WrestleMania 2, do you think those convinced Vince that?
I don't know.
Hey,
You know, I didn't work with Hogan that many times.
Right.
It was was it 24 times? I don't know. You guys would probably know. I don't know.
But it might have been
Wasn't
because
that
when they
many.
noticed that, they went, okay.
Well, I
we
mean,
gotta
I thought it was a
take
good
it off the
matchup.
road. Yeah.
You had a guy who was, a big fat bastard, could maybe give Hulk a match.
I think it was maybe the Halloween one
Hershey
too.
Ring,
Weren't you
right?
dressed as? What were you dressed as for Halloween?
Abraham Lincoln, was it?
Yes, it was. For Christ's
We all
sake.
remembered that.
Talk about those shows for a minute and the production of a Saturday night's main event versus a weekly. Is it more controlled? Are they controlling what you
A
say
lot more controlled on the Saturday night main event. A lot more worried, I think, about the time constraints. And also, we loved them because we got a double payday. You got paid by NBC and you got paid by Vince. Never heard that, huh?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you got did I get a $2,500 from NBC a couple times? I think it was a $2,500. It was a nice
Plus the
little
payday for the house.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Included in this show is the music video for Land of a Thousand Dances, the wrestling album.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff like this, the extracurricular stuff that is not driving an angle, it's not part of what's going on every week. Music videos, cartoons. Is this something you're down with, or did you want more of the core product to be wrestling?
Yeah, I thought more of the core product should have been wrestling. I think that's part of what killed WCW is the talking. I used to watch back and forth because I still knew a few guys and I enjoyed the competition. One day I watched and there's Bischoff doing about a 15, 16-minute promo. Just a room with a bunch of smoke and him in a big Harley. And I said, it's over. Vince has won because this guy thinks he's a star. And it was over.
Right.
6 months later, Vince took.
Like, should we see the guys that are supposed to be the most fearsome men in the business ready to dethrone and decapitate our cherished heroes,
Our hero,
dancing and singing?
Oh my God, I thought that. Yes, Sean, yes.
How do you be a ferocious heel when you're dancing?
Thank you. Well, that's when I came back, when I didn't know that. Vince called me back. I said, Vince, are you going to give me a super push? Yes, I am. And the first thing I do, I go in a Santa Claus suit on the cover of the magazine. That was designed to do that, to bury me. Vince's ego is so.
Do you so you think you don't think it was just
Oh,
that
no,
he
no,
thought
no.
it wouldn't have any effect on your career? Okay.
And then he took away my 5 count because I was usurping the referee's authority. The Undertaker would chase the referee out of the. I mean, yeah, they're just fucking scum. Vince is scum.
But the flip side of this is when albums are being sold and when you're in a cartoon and a doll, the
It does
money's
help you.
coming in.
But you know, it's funny. We didn't get the album. We got nothing for that. None of us.
You didn't get like a performer's royalty
Nothing.
or anything? You're
didn't
saying
get
on the
didn't
record.
get a per diem for the day. Didn't get a $200 per diem. You got like a 50. No, you didn't get a $50 credit. You got a pass to the hotel cafeteria. And you look at me. It's pretty obvious. I would eat anything. That food was the worst food. I didn't eat that much. The food was that bad.
I mean, that's probably recording union's probably not even legal.
I remember saying to Dave Wolf, Cyndi Lauper's manager
Yes.
and boyfriend, "Hey Dave, what are we getting? We gonna get something out of this? Oh yeah, Bundy. What are you?" Like I was an idiot. Of course you're gonna get something. Bret Hart says in his book, we never got a nickel. And the Slammies, the 2 days,
Yes.
never got a dime for them either.
How did the dolls do for you?
I remember Vince called me and the Sheik got like, I heard like 94,000.
He made
He-
some
he-
pretty
he made one
outrageous
of the-
claims on what he got.
I remember I heard it was $94,000 his first. Cause he
The
was
first check.
One of the first 4, yeah.
Right.
Now for my first check, I usually tell the numbers. Vince called and said, I got a check for $26,000 for you.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a chunk of change to me.
First check. So, and you were getting quarterly probably, right?
Yeah, they were quarterly. Yeah.
You fly into LAX. Are you a wheelman, or do you ride with others? You prefer if others drive? Do you
I
like
don't
to
wanna
drive alone?
I hate to drive, no.
Okay.
We actually got a limo for that. They took us out to the hotel.
When you get into town for a big thing like this, what do you do? Are you somebody who wants? Do you sleep because of the travel? I don't know if you can sleep on a plane, but do you prefer to rest up? Do you go out? Are you
I was
a
never,
partier?
see, yeah, I was never one of the boys, like one of the cool guys that hung out, you know. I would pretty much just stay to myself, stay at the hotel. Once in a while, go out, you know. Like a friend of mine in Chicago had a nightclub he ran. We'd go out there a lot. In a couple different towns, you'd know somebody, you'd see a friend. But some guys out every night. I mean, it was a party 7 nights a week. More power to them. But
Food, cuisine, what do you prefer on the road? It's tough to get what you want. But
doesn't matter. Look at me, I can eat anything.
doesn't mean you don't have a preference, like maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of times you get home late, all there is Domino's. Had plenty of Domino's over the years.
LA specifically, lot to do. Do you take advantage of any of the cultural offerings of Los Angeles? A museum or two? A zoo?
No, I didn't. I did go to the zoo, but that's when I was, the summer of '87, I was out there. I was doing a Richard Pryor movie. I was out there all summer. So I did a lot then. But WrestleMania, I was only there a few days, you know. The only thing I really wanted to do was go to the Dodgers game, which I couldn't.
Right.
So, yeah, but I did that summer. I went out, and a year later, I did a lot of stuff.
The hotel, which the name escaped you, but is it a higher, because it's WrestleMania, your main event, or do you get a higher level of hotel than you'd normally be put up for a house show?
It was a normal.
Okay.
Well, no, you put yourself up. I don't think we did for that. I think they got us a room. Did they? Did you think the promoter got us rooms?
For a WrestleMania? Because you said they got you a limo. No, I know when you're on the road, you're an independent contractor, 1099.
Is that unbelievable?
I've asked every worker how they even get away with it today.
They couldn't.
They can tell you where to work, who you can work for, where you can work, but he doesn't work for us.
Yeah. You should be a lawyer. You a lawyer? You're
Somebody's
going
to win that one someday. Somebody with a lot of balls and a lot of money is going to win that one. Some guys tried, but the statute of limitations was up. Anyway, office guys, are they staying with you? Is Vince in the room next to you at the Howard Johnsons, or is he maybe at?
No, I don't think Vince stays at the hotel. Oh, I remember at the Hojo's in Toronto, where we always went from Brantford. I remember seeing George and Vince go into there. So maybe they were. But you never saw Vince much. And then it got to the point of you couldn't. I called Vince 3 times at his house in my life. And I'm so dumb, it didn't teach me nothing. All 3 times he answers the phone. Now, I don't answer my phone, all the time. So he should have told me, he likes to talk to people.
Right.
I didn't know that.
And in
I
particular-
thought I'm so dumb, Sean. I thought I was doing him a favor by leaving him alone, because that's what I would want. If you were my employee wrestler, do what we ask you to do it to your best ability, and leave me the fuck alone. No, Vince don't want that. Vince wants you to call and say what's going on and blah blah blah. That's when I was there in '95. It's like if you weren't in there fighting, and that was never my style.
Right.
Never had to do it, you know. Not that it was an opportunity then, because he didn't plan on using me good. Which
But
I wouldn't have minded if I was making money. But when you're there and there's no money being made and they don't give you a shot, I mean, you're King Kong Bundy. You had a little name in the business, had a little, you know, juice, a little cachet. But I don't know.
But at this time, you're certainly making some money.
I was a top guy then.
You're a top guy. Since Mania 2 was unique in that there are split crews, 3 cities.
Never saw the attraction of that.
Well,
Did you?
it was a play. Crockett had done 2 cities the year before for Starrcade, '83. So
Is that what it was?
right?
I didn't even know
that. North Carolina.
Oh, well, of course that would have.
Charlotte
And
and
if Crockett had
Atlanta.
done 4, Vince would have done 6.
Right.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, '83 Starrcade came
Oh,
from
well,
2 locations.
there. I wondered why, and there it
85,
is.
I'm sorry. So '85 was from 2
I mean,
locations.
you get to sell
so
out
this
a couple
is
more
from 3.
buildings, but your money's not coming from the buildings. Your money's coming from the pay-per-view.
No, this was an I have a bigger dick than you contest.
Well, yeah, same thing. You're right. That's a part of it. But I was going to say, they still had closed circuit back then, didn't they?
Yes.
I remember some
Yes.
guy telling me that today, and I forgot about that.
Who talks
was
to you about your
Basil.
match beforehand, like giving you the time or?
I think it was me and Hogan. Hogan got it from the agent, whoever it was, and came and talked to me. It
Okay.
wasn't anything different. One time, there was, I think it was Dianne Feinstein, pretty well-known politician on
Yes.
the West Coast. I think she had a picture. It was either her or some other woman politician. She had a picture of me topping Lanny Poffo with a splash, you know, and booming. Billboard. This is the office. This is the office. I don't know if you want this kind of story with the office, but you know. So Basil DeVito is one of Vince's young Turks. I said I want to do something about this. You know what I mean? So, but then somehow it wound up coming back to him, and he just told me, "Don't worry about it." So they used me and Lanny Poffo in their full-page billboard.
It
and
could
gave
capitalize.
us not a nickel. Because the office don't care. Let me tell this one story, then I'll answer questions directly. A couple years ago, I did a thing for the office, got me for Kraft Foods. $5,000, office gave me half. Okay, $2,500 to go to Chicago. They decided a year later, a couple weeks later, they did it in-house. Anyway, 2 years later, they want me again. And they contact the office. And the office tells them that we don't know how to get hold of King Kong Bundy. Now, they send me a royalty check every month. But, that's just how little they care about it. And first of all, you could take half the money again and get yourself $2,500 for nothing, a phone call. But that's how little interest they have. We can't get it. So they got me through the, you can get hold of anybody nowadays. And I got the whole $5,000 for myself.
Good for
But
you.
but what about what kind of people are they?
Yeah.
It's
How
like,
recent was this?
Oh, this is years ago.
Okay.
But Vince, when I went away, when I was going to go to Japan, when I took off a year and a half back in '88, I guess it was. He said, "Well, I'll make you a living doing appearances. I don't want you going to Japan." Okay, never did. Never did.
Never did.
And I called him toward the end of almost a year, and I'm bitching about that. He said, "Well, just because they ask for you doesn't mean it's yours. When you promised to make me like $60,000 a year, and I made about 12, and they out of the blue, he says, "Well, I'm not trying to stick it up your ass, but you did that computer thing." Talking about the computer ad that I did. I did a computer ad that we had full-page ads. I didn't know it was going to be this big. We had full-page ads in Time, Newsweek, Sports Illustrated, USA Today. I didn't even tell Vince about it. So I had eternal heat from then on. People told me last time I was there, I said, "He's not going to do nothing with you because you did that thing." 2 different people working in the office told me that.
But something.
That's how vindictive he is.
Something the layperson might be confused about right now
Sure.
is how a 1099 independent contractor who's not an employee or beholden to a company at all would have any servitude towards Vince McMahon in taking a computer ad.
Well, when I said I wanted to go to Japan, he described it as, what he said was, "We don't like, WWF products to be used by other companies." Described me as a product. And I'm just saying, "Okay, Vince, make me whatever." I said, doing appearances, and I got no problem because I wanted to come back and make some more money there. but he's just a vindictive prick. But anyway, I'm done with now digressing. Give me
Let's
the
go
question.
back to L.A. You got fans waiting in your lobby in the hotel and stuff like that?
Not that I remember. There must have been a few. I can't remember, Sean.
But you're a heel now, okay? So how does the heel, who's probably deep down a nice guy, I don't know,
Exactly.
the jury's out. Some kids want some.
Why is the jury out?
Some kids want some autographs, you know.
You know, and
People
I don't know
are
if you
there,
know, but this
cameras might be there. You can't be nice because you're King
Oh,
Kong Bundy.
absolutely,
The heel,
absolutely would have been. Absolutely.
Really?
Would have been. Yes.
You didn't worry about.
That's just a microcosm of. Yeah, I don't. You know. But I never.
So
thought,
you'd stop and sign. Well,
Absolutely. But I agree. I was thinking more about my mind about what you said about that, doing the album and all. That was bullshit for ass-kicking heels to be doing that. But yeah, but always, yeah, especially as a kid. Yeah, I don't think that makes a difference.
Okay.
Away from the arena, you know?
Even as you're preparing to destroy his beloved Hulk Hogan in a cage, you'll stop, you'll sign the autograph, say, what's your
Yeah.
name, Squirt, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. All right. There wasn't much media coverage for the second WrestleMania, not as much as
No.
for the first. Mr. T, I guess, wasn't
Didn't have
as
all
big
the-
a star a year later as
No,
he
he
was
wasn't.
back when the 18 was
And there was
on.
more stars in the first one, too, wasn't there?
Well, no, here because you've got stars in each city. So I'll read the final list of stars and get your take on them. But are there any talent meetings for something like this before the event? Like, do they get all the guys together and do any kind of, listen, you know, no ass polls for this. Remember, we got pay-per-view audience out there. Is there any kind
No.
of elevated, in our minds, of course, the WrestleMania, so it's an elevated thing, but no.
Yeah, well, it seems to me like the 6 years I was going, everything became more elevated. TV used to be 2 days off. Poughkeepsie and Brantford, you know what I mean? Squash matches. Now that the pressure of TV, people are going out of their minds. You know what I mean? I don't know why it has to be like that, but, well, first of all, I think they like having it be like that. You know what I mean? All this, I don't know, they just like to keep the pressure on the guys. I don't know. But it was a totally different atmosphere. So I'm sure they do more involved. I don't know, they just use the guys more. They want to keep them busy or something. I remember Sue Aitchison. She was doing something with me, telling me how Vince tells her, you have to feed the boys. Always make sure you feed the boys. Kind of like the animals in the zoo, you know? If you want to keep people placated and keep them...
Give them some food.
Give them some food. Make sure you feed the boys. I remember this guy who worked at, I met him on a plane. He worked at a school for bad boys. And he said, that's the first thing we do is feed them.
Right.
All you want.
Same mentality.
Yeah.
What time would one have to leave to get to a venue? Are you near the venue? They put you
Yeah,
up?
we're only about 15 minutes away from the...
What time they want you there for
Sports
something
Arena.
that would start like at, I guess,
I got there around 1 o'clock because
Okay.
there's a full catered meal there.
Right.
You know, so you have your first or your second or third meal there.
Good food, good quality?
Yeah, I did pretty good.
Okay.
You know, I'm no connoisseur.
Do you, are there, there's no like autograph opportunities or anything like that? You're just
No,
there in the
nothing like that.
arena?
You're focusing totally on the day.
What was the LA Sports Arena like?
Old, kind of decrepit, as I remember it.
It was an old boxing arena.
One of those ones you drive. Yeah, kind of like the Cow Palace in San Francisco. Yeah, old, seen its better days. But a nice building, still a big building, and it was very exciting. And it was very exciting that day. And we were watching this stuff in the other towns, you know.
Right.
I think
that's
I was
what asked
watching
you.
before. Was it Piper and T before me? I think.
The boxing.
Yeah.
Ample locker room space at the LA Sports Arena?
Plenty of time. I remember a guy come by that I always liked, Professor Toru Tanaka. Do you remember him?
Sure.
That guy, he's so solid. He feels like he's going to explode. But the professor, and he was doing some kind of security job. So he had a taser. He kept tasing the guy. Didn't hit nobody, but just tasing him. He was a good guy.
Do you do any, you don't go into the ring to practice at all, do you?
Not, but some guys do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw Shawn Michaels doing that on the show one time, going in or getting everything early. But he does the things that you have to. Like they were having a ladder match, and he wanted to
Right.
see where the ladder had to be, so he'd do the nut shot on the ropes when he fell over. So you have to for that
Place
stuff.
it,
But
yeah.
I don't
but
do
for
that
but
stuff.
for Hogan, you
No.
didn't.
Brother, it's pound, pound, kick, kick.
What does a King Kong Bundy do backstage while he's waiting for his match for 2 hours? Are you a card guy? Are you
No, never a card guy.
2 pounds of blow and a few
No.
hookers? What
Nah.
What are you doing?
No.
You read?
Read, yes, I used to read, they always had the newspaper there, there always be some magazines there. Or I'd bring a book sometimes, but it's just pretty basic, just guys sitting around shooting the shit.
Now, Andre's...
And there's other, a lot of times you watch the other matches to see, just to get an idea what they're doing. Like if somebody does a lot of stuff, you don't want to do something somebody else did.
Right.
So when you just work the arm for 15 minutes, you don't want to go out and mess with the arm. But
You got a smaller bunch of guys here in LA because there are only 4 matches. So is anyone playing cribbage in Andre's presence? Because he's in Chicago. So
I don't think anybody was. Where was Skoland at? Skoland.
Was he with you in Los Angeles?
I can't remember.
So you said you are watching on the monitor the New York broadcast.
Yes.
The Chicago broadcast. Any interesting backstage?
Excuse me.
Any interesting backstage tidbits from this night that we should know?
The highlight for me was Toru Tanaka being there. I'd always been a huge Toru Tanaka fan when I was a kid. So, I'd only met him a couple times. So that was the highlight of the WrestleMania night itself was Toru. He was a very entertaining guy.
Did you like the
had a long
tagline,
day.
"What the world is coming to"?
I didn't realize that was it, but I do like it.
Okay.
It's kind of past the fact.
This pay-per-view's on a Monday night, a school night.
No.
Yeah,
No, really?
yeah. Strange.
Monday night?
Yeah,
Ali Frazier was on a Monday night. Why?
I don't know. I was going to ask you.
Why wouldn't that be on
Sunday would have seemed like a better choice.
Saturday? Wouldn't Saturday seem the best choice, though?
Yeah.
I would think.
Well, actually, Saturday night, yeah, I guess. But, I mean, Sunday became, of course, the designated pay-per-view night. Do you like having celebrities involved, like in the WrestleManias and stuff? Or do they not get it? Or does it
I mean,
just
I
depend
got a kick out of, saying hello to Tommy Lasorda. But I don't know if they're worth the bang for their buck. I don't know.
That's a good
I
point.
like having them involved, and I think it's good. I don't know. It's something different. People are loving something different.
Well, it's reported that the celebrities each earn $12,000 and up for showing up that
Is that
night.
Ricky Schroeder, Tommy Lasorda?
Yes, yes. Might be more than
$12,000.
some of the wrestlers on the card.
Oh, more than most of the wrestlers on the card.
Right.
All right, James.
Any discussion of that?
I tell the numbers. Oh, okay, I was going to say, what do you think I made for WrestleMania?
Well, I'm going to get there.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I would guess in that money. I would say Hogan probably made 20, so you probably made 15.
1,000?
Yeah.
You think Hogan made 20?
Sure. Main event WrestleMania, sure.
20,000?
Oh, higher, you mean?
Let me tell you. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
Hulk told me from WrestleMania 1, he went into Vince's office, and Vince, he had his WrestleMania check, and he walked in, and it was for $500,000. And he said to Vince, "Where's the other half?" And he said, "Vince, draw up a check for Hulk for $500,000.
So clearly I'm low.
Way low, yeah. For Hulk, not for me. I got 50. Which
Okay.
How you gonna say, "Oh, that's not fair"? $50,000, some dope. When anybody else could have done it, you could have done it. He could have done it. Your junior partner. You told me he's your junior partner, right? As you said earlier, you said my junior partner handles all our camera work.
It doesn't work. These guys are too smart.
That's what you said.
So 50. So you were clearly satisfied.
Junior partner.
You were clearly satisfied with it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I
Okay.
thanked Vince for it.